Lately, I've been pondering the question, why does a life that looks so incredibly good on paper sometimes feel empty inside? You've hit the milestones. You've checked literally all the societal boxes, the career, the status, the endless responsibilities, and yet right underneath that polished surface, you just feel inwardly exhausted, utterly disconnected. If that hits home for you, then you aren't alone. The Wellbeing Center identifies the hidden symptoms of this exact phenomenon. We're talking about decision fatigue, where you're struggling to make even the basic choices about your future. We're talking mental fog, that feeling where the internal pressure is just way too overwhelming for you to think straight. And then there's a deep disconnect where you feel completely unanchored from what matters most to you. These agonizing symptoms aren't signs of weakness. They're often the heavy, silent cost of outward success, masking an internal void. Our modern culture's usual response when we feel this way is that we try to outwork it. We try to push through the exhaustion. But here's the absolute truth. You don't need to work harder. What you need to do is to start to realign and shift your mindset completely away from these endless productivity fixes. The solution to your burnout is not adding more discipline. If you're misaligned, a better calendar just makes you do the wrong things faster. And it perfectly exposes why traditional time management is completely failing so many capable people. You aren't fixing the root problem, you're just speeding up your journey in the wrong direction. The world might tell you that if you're burning out, then you must lack ambition, or maybe you aren't resilient enough. But the reality is the exact opposite. You do not lack ambition, you lack structural clarity. Your exhaustion is not a character flaw, it's a fundamental lack of clarity at your very foundation. It's like you've built this spectacular house and it's sitting on an unstable foundation of external expectations rather than your own authentic alignment. And over time, our intelligent, highly capable decisions totally get hijacked. They get hijacked by external pressures, inherited beliefs, and unexamined obligations. We basically lose our internal campus. Now, to fix this, we seek help. We want to become someone else, someone better. However, you do not need to become someone completely different. You simply need to remove the layers of accumulated noise, accumulated expectations, and obligations to reveal the structure that reflects you as an individual. A major society myth that's been perpetuated is that you aren't disciplined, and yet personal discipline isn't the root problem here. The struggle to stay consistent is a natural symptom of a lack of alignment. However, when your goals and your values and your behaviors are finally aligned, discipline is no longer this massive daily battle. It becomes a natural byproduct of knowing exactly who you are and where you're going. This brings us to purpose. We can spend years or even decades searching for purpose, and yet purpose isn't something that you actively search for. It's something that you create through the way you live. It's the result of living consistently with your values, your strengths, and your identity and your aspirations. Now let's look at how misalignment shows up in our daily routines. For example, let's talk about living for the weekend. If you're spending every single week just counting down the hours until Friday at 5 p.m., then you really need to start asking yourself why Monday to Fridays becomes something you painfully endure. That right there is a massive symptom of structural misalignment. To figure out exactly why your weekdays are draining you, you've got to look at what fuels you versus what depletes you. In our culture, pushing through exhaustion is heavily celebrated, even to the detriment of our health. We constantly tell ourselves, I'll rest after this next project, or I'll slow down after I get a promotion. I'll rest when I retire. But that rest never comes. True structural clarity requires an honest energy audit. Most people can tell you that they're tired, but very few can tell you why they're tired. You've got to identify what's draining your energy daily. Here are 4 massive red flags in our routines that we need to watch out for. First is work becoming your entire identity, completely replacing any true work-life balance or any work-life alignment. Second is anxiety manifesting as worry. We all worry from time to time, but instead of trying to force yourself to stop worrying, ask yourself, what is this worry actually trying to tell me? Third red flag is using tools like more productivity planning and just cramming in more tasks despite the exhaustion. And finally, there may be a realization that a career that you once absolutely loved simply no longer fits your life. These red flags can be warning signs that signal to you when your life is no longer aligned. True positive change can only start to happen when your inner world is aligned. Meaningful change does not happen by forcing new stressful habits onto a chaotic foundation. It only happens when you do the quiet, honest work of building an authentic, internally aligned structure. Because once the inner structure is aligned, the outside positively organizes itself. I want to leave you with this final thought. If purpose isn't a destination waiting to be found, but rather a structure that you actively build, what will you align today to start creating it? What layer of noise can you commit to removing right now?